Welcome back, Irish fans, to Breaking Down Braves Boys podcast. Here's another What to Expect video. Just going to be me today, but we'll have some more group videos coming out soon. This one was, you could say, highly requested. A couple people have asked me to do this on him. Cormac Ryan, What to Expect from Cormac Ryan, my third What to Expect video. Cormac Ryan is a transfer we got from Stanford. He sat out this year, but if you watch the games, you could see him. He was at all the home games, but he wasn't allowed to travel to away games. You could see him. He was a tall white guy standing in a blue shirt. So yeah, a little background on him is he's a 4-star recruit. He was in the same recruiting classes, Prentice Hub, Dane Goodwin, Nate, and Robbie Carmody, and I think, yeah, that's it. He was the number 65 player, which I believe is ahead of Dane Goodwin and maybe Prentice Hub. I'm not 100% sure about Hub. So he has 2 years, I think he has 2 or 3 years left, but now he's good to go. He can play. He'll be a starter in my opinion. But he's a 6'5" combo guard, 190 pounds. He'll probably be in that starting lineup, I would say, of Prentice Hub, Cormac Ryan, Dane Goodwin, Nate, and Juwan Durham. So yeah, he's 6'5", 190 pounds with a really long wingspan. So I think he can be really good as a shooting guard or a point guard. Here's some of Mike Bray's comments on him. I'll say that he was asked to identify some of his weaknesses, you could say. They asked him what he wanted him to improve on. So here's his
question
comment.
about is from Matt Freeman. Was there an area of Cormac Ryan's game that you wanted to see him develop over the last year, and where did he make strides in his game?
Well, I think the biggest thing we got to get to Cormac about, because he is the whole package, is slowing down a little bit. And that's why I make the Ben Hansbrough comparison. Ben Hansbrough played too fast when he first got to us, especially the year he sat out. Cormac, I had flashbacks. Now, Cormac, like Ben Hansbrough, is the whole package. He can put it on the floor. He can shoot the basketball. He's more athletic than people think. He can get into the basket and get up and finish. He's a very good passer. He's got to be better with his assist to turnover. He's learning in our culture, you don't throw that ball away. That's an area where a lot of new guards have to adjust to take care of that ball, and it's gold for us. But I think just slowing down a little bit and playing and changing speeds is going to be a big thing for him. And then working on his body. The two guys we really wanted to focus on their bodies. We focus on everybody's physicalness, Tony Relinsky does. But we really felt we could make strides with Prentice Hub and Cormac Ryan with them strength-wise overall. Now we're going to have to do it long distance. And that bothers me, but I think we can still achieve some of it long distance.
Now that Mike Bray said I guess we'll go into his strengths and weaknesses before we go to the stats. So some of his strengths, my favorite thing he does is he's able to create his own shot and score off the dribble, which is we didn't really have too much of last year. So I really want guys to be able to do that this year, and I think he's the perfect guy to do that, along with Prentice Hub. He's really long, lengthy. I think he grew a little bit since his freshman year, so in the highlights you'll see later, he's gotten bigger since then. He's a really well-rounded player offensively. He can pass, he can score off the dribble, he can score off the catch. He's a really good shooter. Like I said, really good passer. He plays with a lot of energy. As you'll see in the highlights later, he'll get fired up. Something I noticed that I haven't really seen anywhere is he has a really quick first step. Off a pump fake, he can get you with a one dribble pull up. He uses his first step to get to the basket, all that kind of stuff. He has really good footwork defensively. And another thing defensively is he has active hands, as you'll see in some clips later also. He'll get steals. He'll just rip the ball out of people's hands. He'll get blocks from behind. He'll block layups, which is something you don't really see with a guard. So now on to some of his weaknesses. So it's kind of hard to find weaknesses on him, but I've been looking for a long time. And that Mike Bray press conference from a couple of days ago helped let me know some things also. So something I found was he's known for being trigger happy. He'll shoot really bad shots at times with contests, kind of comparable to Prentice Hub in some aspects like that, where Prentice Hub will pull up from really far with the guy in his face. Sometimes it'll go in, sometimes it'll make him look stupid. But Mike Bray also was talking about how he needs to get a little bit bigger. He said he wanted to work with him and Prentice Hub on working out. Probably he means lifting by that. A lot of people said he's kind of skinny coming out of high school, so I would assume that he still is. And a thing Mike Bray emphasized was he's got to get his assist-to-turnover ratio down. That wasn't very good at Stanford. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but it wasn't that good. He throws the ball away a lot, and something that can go along with that is he plays too fast. That's why he got the Ben Hansbrough comparison in that interview with Mike Bray, or the press conference, whatever. But yeah, he said he plays too fast. He needs to slow down now. So there's the weaknesses, and now we'll get into the stats, a quote, and a comparison. So there were strengths and weaknesses. Before we move on to stats and other stuff, here's a quote from Mike Bray about his game. He said, "Cormac is the consummate all-around guard. He's the total package you look for in a player in terms of skill, basketball IQ, and competitiveness. I'm very excited to have him in our program." He also compared him to Ben Hansbrough and Steve Astoria, because he said Ben Hansbrough played too fast when he got to Notre Dame. He reminds him a lot of him. And Steve Astoria, his shooting ability. So let's get into his stats. I would take these stats with a grain of salt because Rob Bolanis said that he had such a severe sports hernia injury that he shouldn't have even been playing. So here's his stats. In 24 games, he had 8.7 points per game, 1.9 assists, 33% from the field, and 31.5% from three. Not ideal, but not as bad as it could have been, especially because he was playing when he maybe shouldn't have been playing, especially as a freshman who only played a few games. But there were times where he flashed his potential, like the UCLA game where he scored 19, USC where he scored 18, and UNC he did pretty well, especially against one of the best teams in the country. So yeah, here's a comparison for him. Besides Ben Hansbrough and Steve Astoria, I'm going to say Trey Wirtz, because they can both create their own shot. They're both lanky, and they're both really good shooters. In my opinion, if you watch his college tape, you would only compare him to Dane Goodwin. But if you watch his high school tape and how he was taking guys off the dribble, taking them to the basket, he reminds me of Trey Wirtz a lot. So yeah, I think they're going to be a really good backcourt in the future. But yeah, here's what I expect from him. Now on to the big question, what do I expect from him? So this year, I expect him to be the best player on the team, to be honest. I expect double-digit points, lead the team in scoring. I expect him to be at least a decent defender, and then I expect him to take a leap because it'll be his second year in the system. I think he'll be the guy who takes the last shot that we didn't really have last year, who can create his own shot like that and has a big enough wingspan to get it off over guys. I think he'll be a really good passer. I think he'll be able to get looks for Nate Laszewski, Jawan Durham down low. And lastly, I think he'll be one of the better defenders on the team, the best perimeter defender on the team because of his length. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. There'll be one on Matt Zona soon. If you have any other video ideas, let me know, and talk to you later. Peace.